Hey guys, welcome back to Addicted to Gear. My name's Tony. Today I'm going to be talking about a pedal that has probably single-handedly saved my marriage. If that doesn't make sense to you, stay tuned. I'll explain how. My wife has been telling me for years now, Tony, you should learn how to express yourself more. So I took that to heart and I purchased this. This is a brand new pedal from Hotone, or Hotone. And it's a 3-in-1 little cool device called the Tuner Press. And what it does is it acts as a volume pedal, an expression pedal, a tuner, and actually a buffer as well. So it's actually a 4-in-1. And today I'm going to give you my feedback and review on how well I like this little thing. Right from when you pull this thing out of the box, you know it's no joke. It's quality. You can tell by the weight. You can tell by the fact that the enclosure is made out of metal and not plastic. The feel of the pedal when you're pressing it with your hands, your fingers, or your feet is very smooth. There's no clunkiness. There's no rattling or anything like that. It really is well built. And I have to say, it sure beats the heck out of those old, huge Morley pedals that you've probably used at one time or another. If you're my age, they were big. They were huge pedals. So this one does way more and in a smaller enclosure. So kudos to the people over at Hotone for thinking of ingenious ways to cram more functionality into a smaller footprint like this. When you're dealing with a pedal that does more than one thing, does it do more than one thing well? That's always sort of the million-dollar question. And today we're going to find out. We're going to dig a little deeper and we're going to see what it's all about. The wow factor is really the fact that they decided to put in a tuner pedal. And how they did that is quite ingenious. They have a little screen right over here. And this screen is where all the excitement happens, because when you turn on the pedal, you can actually see the screen of the tuner pedal right here. As the unit turns on, the display lights up. Very nice, bright display, high resolution. It's in tuner mode here, so I'm just going to cycle through and tune a few strings just to show you it in action. You can see the displays are very responsive, very nice and crisp. I'll switch over to the strobe mode here, and you can see it working very nicely. Again, once the unit is picking up the tone of the guitar, it's very responsive, very nicely lit, and I wouldn't have any trouble seeing this on a dimly lit stage or anything like that. If I turn over the display and click on it, you can see I can switch between volume and expression pedal, and the lights will light up accordingly. If I want to turn the tuner back on, I just press the button on the side and the tuner is on as well. Tony, what happens, you're putting pressure on this thing, you're stepping on it. Is that like a good place to put a screen? Well, they kind of thought about that as well, because the screen is actually countersunk. It's a little bit lower than the surface of the pedal, so that when you're putting your foot on it, you're actually not really putting pressure on the screen. Unless, of course, you're using some funky kind of shoes, maybe wearing cleats or something like that, which, in that case, you definitely want to be careful. You don't want to step too hard. When my foot's on it, I can't really see the screen, right? Well, that's why they put it on the edge of the actual pedal. So all you really need to do is scoot your foot over just a little bit so you can see the screen and you're in business. But, generally you wouldn't necessarily be using the volume or the expression pedal while you're tuning. All you need to do is step off and you have it right there, and you can leave it always on. There's a couple of options available to you for how you want to use the tuner. Now, you also have a little switch on the side here, and this switch has a TS, T, or TP. So the option here allows you to use this as tuner strobe mode, tuner mode, and tuner P stands for peanuts? No. Tuner and volume? I don't know. What does that mean? I'm not really sure. I'm going to have to look at the manual for certain things here. So TS means tuner only when the pedal is in the heel down position. Otherwise, the screen will be blank. T stands for tuner always shown regardless of the pedal state, and T and P means tuner displayed when the pedal is in the heel down position. Otherwise, the pedal physical travel value would be displayed in real time. So there you have it, straight from the manual. We got all the information we need. Now this pedal can be powered on with a regular 9-volt battery, and the lights on the side of it here are interesting as well because they do light up when it's in expression mode or volume mode. So here we are, we're going to take this pedal for a little spin. I'm going to show you how it works briefly, just cycling through a couple of things. Right now the unit is on and it's in volume control mode, and you can tell by the lights that are on the side of it. It also has the tuner engaged, so if I hit a string you can see that the strobe tuner is active. That's because the pedal is in heel down mode, which engages the tuner. If I were to press on this now, it would act like a volume control. So you would see the little lines, the LED lights go up and down. That basically shows you how much volume you're giving. So if I just strum a chord, so it controls quite nicely. It has a nice sweep to it. Now, if I want to control something else, say in this case, I want to control the wah effect, I can just switch to that by pressing and clicking the button. And now, and if I switch it back to the volume, it'll work like a volume again. Now, I would have preferred to have those lights moved over just a little bit so that you can see them better when your foot is on the pedal. But hey, I can't ask for everything. You know, I want all these features and functions in a small enclosure, and they managed to do that. So yes, you know, it could be made better, but it's pretty good for the first crack, I would say. There are a couple of hidden goodies inside the unit. If you pull off the back cover, there's a couple of screws that have to be removed. There is a little switch that you can use to select whether you want it to be in buffered mode or not. And there is a little USB connector in there as well for any kind of firmware update. So that could be something very cool to see whether or not they decide maybe to add a couple more features there in terms of what the tuner could do, or maybe increase sensitivity or whatnot. I think that's all really cool stuff. Now there is a little switch on the side here that says high and low. This is basically where you would select the impedance of your instruments or devices that you'd be using this pedal with. So if you're using a high impedance device or instrument, switch it to high, and if it's low, then just put it on low. It's pretty simple, actually. The other thing also is that you do have a regular input. This is where you would go into the device with a standard jack. On the other side, you have the outputs, but there's two of them. So there's a standard out. So if you're using this pedal as a volume pedal, you would just go out of this device with a standard jack into your amplifier and use it as a standard volume. But if you're using it as an expression pedal, then you would go into the EXP out, and that would have to be used with a TRS cable. Otherwise it wouldn't work, and that would be plugged into whatever device you're trying to control with the expression function. So I'll say it again, I think the guys at Hotone have done wonderfully well with this product. I'm sure they're gonna sell like hotcakes. Get it? Hotone, hotcakes. Anyways, I'm sure they're gonna sell a bunch of these and they're gonna be quite popular. You're getting 3 devices and lots of functionality built into one. And who doesn't like that? I do. And I like the sound of it. Clicks so nice. That's it for now, guys. I hope you liked this review. I hope you got something of interest out of it and it's helping you make a buying decision, hopefully. If you like what we're doing here on Addicted to Gear, there's more. So please subscribe, tune in regularly, or you'll miss out. That's it for now. I'm Tony. See you on the next one.